everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of the Anime Banter podcast with your hosts, Turtle, Mike, and Sean. Thanks for joining me today, guys. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Had a good weekend at Tekko, which we will be talking about today.
I was so upset to have to go back to work. I just wanted Tekko to last forever.
It's always hard going back to work after a convention.
Yeah. Just any weekend in general.
And we have a treat for you this week, listeners. Not only am I, Sean, hosting this week's episode is a Banter Blitz. Surprise! We're taking a small break from Vinland Saga. I know we just started, but we just finished Tekko, the Pittsburgh anime convention, Pittsburgh's premier anime convention. It is an event with almost 10,000 people. This year we got to 9,978 or something like that.
It's over 9,000!
What? 9,000?
That's a good way to look at it. I would have liked the 10,000 though. Would have been really nice. That is the second highest. Wait, is it second highest? Yes, second highest Tekko of all time. The highest attendance was over 10,000 people in 2019. 2020 was gearing up to be the biggest one again. But as you all know, the pandemic hit and messed up everything. So this year at Tekko, I was a volunteer for the organization, and I was also a vendor. We had a booth for the Demon Files every single week. Whenever Mike asks me, "Do you have anything to plug?" I always plug the Demon Files. Well, guess what? We had our own booth, and I was standing there wearing my Anime Banter shirt, handing out some business cards, and Mike and Turtle joined me at the booth for a little bit, and we walked around and handed out a few business cards to people who asked us about our shirt. We even talked to getting a potential sponsor, and hopefully we'll be able to deliver that good news soon to all of our listeners. I tell you what, if it works out, it's going to be a product that we believe in and we think everyone could benefit from. So stay tuned for that.
I was going to say real quick, huge shout out to everyone who swung by and picked up a business card and talked to us at Tekko asking what the show was about and just taking time out of their con experience to talk with us for a few minutes during the day.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. We love chatting with our fans. We love finding new fans. That's why I always say this. Social media is open. Reach out to us. If you have a request from us, we can. I would love to do a mailbag episode. The problem is that we have to get mail first.
That would definitely help.
animebanterpodcast at gmail.com, or the DMs are open on the socials. Don't be afraid to slide on in.
Slide on into our DMs.
So, Sean, how long has Tekko been going for?
This was the 20th anniversary.
Oh, damn!
Straight up.
Much longer than I thought it was.
Yeah. It started very small, and we have a couple staff members in my department, the finance department, who have been volunteering for over 15 years, or close to it at least. And if they haven't been volunteering for 15 years, they have been attending for over 15 years. And to hear their old war stories, Tekko 9 was the first one that I attended or volunteered at. But hearing the war stories from people who attended things like Tekko 3 and 4, the insane things that attendees did, the insane things that staff did, people quitting, scandals, from stuff like that to all the good times, the absolutely insane stories, fun guests. There's so much stuff involved in the con world.
So it's currently at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. Where was it at prior to that, or has it always been at the convention center?
I believe they did a stint in Monroeville, maybe a year at the Monroeville Convention or the Monroeville Expo Mart when it was that. They were at a Radisson Hotel. They were at the Wyndham Grand. They were at one time they were at the convention center, and then they got kicked out of the convention center, went to the Wyndham Grand for 2 years.
How'd they get kicked out?
Well, there are a number of stories. you get stories like I don't know, someone trying at the Westin Hotel, someone riding a desk down, like an antique desk down a staircase,
Oh no.
dyeing an entire bathtub purple. I, I mean, there's always stories of vomit. People like to throw up everywhere. I,
People tend to do that.
I'm not sure if this story is a tech or another con. That's the thing. Some of the stories blend together, but I know there was one incident where someone tried to do a wall, like a wall running where you like run up the wall and do a flip. When they went to run up the wall, they just kicked a hole in the wall. I can't remember if that
Oops.
was Tekko or not though. Yeah, and then you
That's
hear
funny.
the back scene story, the backstage stories. So there's like, I've witnessed three levels to the con scene. The attendee side, which is what you guys are used to. Then there's the vendor side, like I have witnessed the past couple of years running the Demon Files booth, and then there is the volunteer side. And it's really hard for me to go back to being an attendee at a con because I'm so used to being behind the scenes and seeing how everything works that like it's really weird, really really weird to go back and like just be a normal person. It feels wrong, honestly. Well, speaking of that, speaking of being an attendee, let's go. Turtle, how was your Techo experience this year?
It was great. I've not been going constantly from year to year, but I did go last year, and I had attended a couple times a year. Before that, definitely before the pandemic hit, and I think I was one time before that even. But this is something I definitely would like to do yearly now. I always find it fun just to go down and take a look. There's a lot of people who do the cosplay, and there's some really good cosplays walking around. So it's just kind of neat to scope out and see what people are doing. A lot of stuff is handmade, which I am not a very crafty kind of person at all. So I don't do the cosplay myself, but I just appreciate a lot of time and effort that a lot of people put into making their own outfits, and some of them look absolutely incredible. I'm trying to think. We were just, with us walking around, we saw a couple Chainsaw Man. We did see a Katana Man, which looked really good.
There were a
Um,
lot of power cosplays.
Power cosplay. There was a couple Pochitas going around. I saw a couple Vash, the Stampede from Trigun Stampede.
Saw some Wolfwoods.
So it's always just fun to kind of just see what people are dressing up as. Um, and of course, the artwork. There's some incredible artists. So this is a great thing for them to come and sell their wares, and to get their name out there as well. So the artwork. I don't know if we're going to talk about stuff we scooped up, but I definitely bought some things. I spent some money, as you are expected and wanted to do at these conventions. Spend your money, support artists, support vendors, and get stuff you like. But yeah, it's something I would like to do every year going forward, as long as it is around, and hopefully it is around for a long time. But I had a great time.
Good to hear, Turtle. Mike, well, what about you?
This was my second Techo. Last year I went, and that was the first time I've ever went. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a while, and just my summer schedule is always hectic. I play softball during the summer, so I have a Sunday morning league, and then just other leagues in general always take time up as well. So it's hard for me to make it to Techo, but I like going. I want to get back to it more. Maybe even try and go for more than one day next year. Because I only went in the past 2 years. I've only been there on Saturday. But yeah, I really enjoyed the experience again. Turtle, you and I carpooled. We got down there at like 10:30, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that
Parked
was
at the
it.
parked at the convention center and checked out the gaming hall until the vendor hall opened. And the gaming hall is really cool because you not only do you have throwback consoles, but you have Japanese arcade machines, which were really cool. And then our local game shop, Top Deck, that we all frequent was there, and they ran like all the card games. So it's always good to see them at Tekko. Huge shout out to Top Deck. If you're in the Pittsburgh area or on TCG Player, they have a shop. Definitely recommend checking them out. So then checked out the vendor hall, and it's always cool going to these conventions and going to the vendor halls. Like those are my favorite parts of conventions. I'll be going to Gen Con here next week, and that'll be my 5th Gen Con. And every year at Gen Con, I just love walking the vendor hall. And it's the same thing with Tekko. Just walking the hall, seeing what everyone has. And the wares range so much. Like you have the statues, you have the art, action figures, Japanese snacks. And then there's other like there were like build your own lightsabers there this year. Plushies, obviously. Just like the wide assortment of wares that you see is just cool to take in. So it's like me personally, I didn't buy a ton this year just because I just bought a new laptop, and with Gen Con coming up, I was sort of trying to split my money where it needed to be split. But just taking it all in, visiting each booth, and just looking at what they have is so cool. But I really enjoyed the attendee side of things. Uh, Sean, watching you and our buddy Dan volunteer and have to run around, it's like big kudos to you guys volunteering, because it looked like your days could get very hectic very quickly. And then just seeing you at the Deepman Files booth trying to work it as well, it's like, man, you are spread thin.
Thank you for noticing. I indeed was spread extremely thin. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. It's just trying to do the vendor stuff, and also honestly, like tend to my wife because I need to help her with all that stuff because she is the one who does all the Demon Files stuff.
So, how did your booth do? How did the Demon Files booth do? Because it seemed like every time we walked by, there was at least a couple people there every time. So, and what all were you guys selling?
Yeah, so we were selling the novel, the two novels that my wife has written that take place in the same universe as the Demon Files. We were selling. Let's see, what else were we selling? What else were we selling?
You guys were selling the RPG books too,
Yeah,
right?
the RPG book. The RPG book. Yeah, we have using the Power by the Apocalypse system. We have an RPG book, and we also have the Demon Files podcast that you can find everywhere that you listen to this podcast, except YouTube. We don't have YouTube over at Demon Files. We do have YouTube here. So we were selling all of that, plus trying to throw out some cards for anime banter as well, which really did work out. We're happy to meet some people and discuss our passion and what we love.
And you guys were giving out them sweet ribbons.
We were giving out ribbons, yeah, for people who don't understand what that means. At Tekko, they have ribbons that they sell, or not sell. People can order ribbons, and you give them out, and you just kind of like tape them to your badge. They have adhesive.
Some of the ribbon game was strong from people I saw. Like they wrapped them up, like they rolled them up. They were like dragging on the floor when they unraveled, and like other people were going. They went not only down, but they went out wide as well.
Yeah, there are people who almost. I saw someone who made pretty much like a square out of theirs, and there was someone who collected apparently over 200 ribbons.
Holy smokes.
I didn't even know that there were that many at the con, but apparently they did. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. Purchases. What was your favorite item that you purchased at the dealer's room?
Ooh, favorite item.
You have way more to choose from, Turtle, than I do. I only made 3 bulk purchases. So, I'll let you think about that, Turtle, and I'll step in if you want me to.
Oh, be my guest. Go ahead.
So, and you can see the art that I scooped up on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages. The artist is called Hero Anthem, and I picked up 3 pieces. They were doing a buy two get one free deal, and I picked up a Demon Slayer one with Tanjiro, a My Hero one with All Might, and a Pokemon one with Charmander, and they were all like comic book cover themed. And it was some of the my like from all the art that we walked around and saw, they were like they caught my eye, and it was like, okay, I need to buy this now. Like there was other art that I saw, I'm like, oh, that's cool, and we never went back to. But like I knew when I saw this art, I'm like, I need this now. So like I said, you could check out the pieces that I picked up on our socials, and that the artist again was Hero Anthem. Definitely follow them on all the socials as well. I also scooped up a really cool Pochita Chainsaw Man shirt. And it was sort of like a Brady Bunch looking square, like a 3x3 grid. And it was Pochita just looking different directions. And then, of course, the Japanese snacks. Uh, we I picked up these Disney biscuit cookies for my wife, who's a huge Disney fan. But the only thing Disney themed about it was the label. Like the cookies themselves just looked like dog bones, and we all were wondering if they were actually for people or dogs. Wife confirmed they are for people, and if they are for dogs, they're really delicious. Um, Picked up some lemon flavored mochi, um, and my favorite snack that I picked up and I had to eat it while I was there was a wafer ice cream sandwich, and it's sort of RIP to the Choco Taco, but it sort of reminded me of that. It was vanilla ice cream on the inside, wrapped in chocolate, and it was a wafer outside. And I had it, and I shit you not, I went home and I was googling where I could find them to buy more of because I was like, immediately fell in love with these ice cream sandwiches.
They did look really good. I wish I would have bought one, but I just wasn't in the mood for ice cream at the time. And it's not like I
Yeah,
could take it home because it was gonna melt.
yeah. I saw him. I said, "Dang, that looks good." And I got one for myself. I walked to the Demon Files booth where my wife and my mom was helping my wife with the booth as well. She came out to the con. Always fun to see moms at the con. Uh,
I,
and
be-
I was eating ice cream in front of them, and they're like, "So where's our ice cream?" So
I
I had to
believe
go and get them ice cream, and they liked it. So did I.
I was gonna say I believe we got a quick video of it as well that we could put up on the Instagram page just to show off what it looked like and give my immediate thoughts of the ice cream sandwich.
Wait for the next Banter Blitz episode that's just about ice cream sandwiches.
It'll
I mean,
last
I'm
three
just throwing it
hours.
out there. I would do a whole episode on just us like eating variety of Japanese frozen treats.
I'm
Crap.
in.
We get the
Sign
cat.
me
We have
up.
to do that one in person.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Turtle sets up a camera. And we're just like all sitting there eating ice cream. Give me our
we
thoughts.
all have crumbs and shit on our face.
Is Anime Banter a food blog now?
Are we going into the ASMR side of things? I was
Crinkle
gonna
some
say
wrappers.
I gotta ask you, Mike, did you have a chance to have any of that lemon mochi?
I haven't yet. My wife had a piece, um, so I'm hoping to get to it in the next day or two.
I think it's really good, but that's me. Did she like it?
Oh yeah, yeah. She
Yeah,
loves lemon flavored desserts, and I do too. So I thought it would that flavor. I'm like, oh, this will definitely be a hit between with her and myself.
yeah, it's really good. I recommend.
Yeah, I kind of regret not picking up. I always pick up the red bean paste mochi. That's my favorite one. And I did not get any this year, and I kind of regret it.
Turtles, have you figured out what your favorite purchase was, or what all did you buy?
Yeah, I mean, I could just kind of briefly summarize what all I bought. I think my if I had to pick like a favorite, I'm gonna piggyback off what you said for the artwork. Um, just the comic book cover art that that guy drew was absolutely amazing. You did the buy two get one free. He had a buy three get two free. So of course I went big and I got five. And I got the Demon Slayer one that you got. I also got a My Hero, but I went with the Red Riot because I just really liked the artwork for that, and Red Riot's awesome. I also got a Goku from Dragon Ball Z, and I got Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. I absolutely love Yu Yu Hakusho. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Um, and there was also a Soul King looking poster from One Piece, which had to scoop that because I mean Brook is amazing, One Piece is amazing, and I'm a big music fan, so that was just too perfect for me. And was there another one, or was that all of them? I think that was it. But yeah, that those the whole comic book cover art style he had for all the different shows and characters just was really really great. Um, there's always a soundtrack booth which I like to peruse and try to find a couple video game soundtracks are what I'm real big into. Not so much anime soundtracks, though. Some anime have really good music, but I'm a big fan of video game soundtracks. So I did find the Tales of Grace's soundtrack, which is I think kind of rare. So I was glad to scoop that. And I also found a copy of Bravely Default 2 soundtrack, so I scooped that. That's a game that I've purchased and haven't had a chance to play yet, but I got the music at least. So those were probably some of the bigger highlights of what I had. There was a few more art pieces by a different vendor. I don't have their name. They didn't give me a business card or anything. And of course, when you're in the moment, you're looking at all this stuff. I just don't remember what they were. But they had a really nice drawing of Vash and Wolfwood sitting at a table just talking, and it looks great. It's a really nice piece. And in the bottom corner, the bottom right corner, they had the cat from the original Trigun show that I realized with our whole Trigun Stampede, it did not include the cat, and I really bummed me out that the cat wasn't part of the show. So hopefully the cat will be there in season two. But definitely the artwork is something that I've been real big into. Couple charms and things that they have. I'll just do a shout out to all the Dwagons booth. Yes, not dragons, Dwagons. They do all kinds of cool art from anime games, anything that is a dragon, and they'll put it on a little charm like Pokemon. The backside's the shiny, So I got a couple of those, just little things here and there. But definitely my highlight, I think, were the soundtracks, since I'm a big music guy, and the artwork.
You picked up some snacks too, as well, didn't you? Right?
Oh yeah, I went a little crazy on the snacks. I was kind of asking Sean, like, what do you recommend? Because they had a lot of bread stuff, different kind of flavored breads and things. And
Did you try any
I,
of the bread?
I did try the melon bread, which I
How'd you
really
like it?
liked.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's good stuff. The breads are honestly just like really good. I got melon bread when I went to Japan. It was fantastic, and I've had the melon bread that you got before as well, and I also like it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Um, I have not tried the other two. I got a like a chocolate kind of bread, chocolate drizzle bread. I haven't tried that yet. And I also got the red bean bread, which I haven't tried that yet either.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm excited to give them a shot.
I love me some
Uh,
red bean anything.
I did get the lemon mochi, which I mentioned. I tried that; it's really good. I also got a blueberry mochi, which I've not tried yet, and I'm excited to get into that because I'm a big blueberry fan. So when I saw that, I started to drool a little bit. I'm like, I gotta scoop this too.
Oh
But
yeah,
the melon bread was really good. I liked it.
no, that's really good. Yeah, for me, as far as purchases go, I didn't necessarily buy a whole lot, but I did buy. Oh, they had they always have throw blankets with anime on them, and my wife wanted, she was chilly in the dealer's room, and she wanted a throw blanket, so I found a Gundam 00 blanket for her because she likes Gundam. She also bought a little ghost purse and a like a sweater with a plague doctor on it from a boutique. Because one of the things that Tekko actually a lot of people don't know is that Tekko's a very large J fashion convention, especially for the Lolitas. I know there was a Lolita convention that used to happen. It was kind of like the only one on the East Coast, and they folded. And the staff from that ended up at Tekko and volunteering. So they built a Lolita and J fashion scene at Tekko's convention. So we get a lot of fashion guests, and it brings a lot of people to the convention from out of town because it's one of the few places you can go to gather with like-minded individuals about it. So it's really cool to buy from like a little boutique type of store. And what else did we buy? Oh yeah, some art. Got some art from Ototobo. They sold the the not safe for work art. Uh, and you know, my wife had to get. She got the safe for work version of her favorite Final Fantasy 14 character, Emmett Selk, who is not my favorite character, but it's hers. She likes the villains. Uh, but yeah, I saw the not safe for work version, and let me tell you, like they have safe for work versions of a lot of their art and not safe for work versions. And Ototobo, you walk up, you say, "I'd like to see the not safe for work version of this character." You say, "Let me see your ID," and they show it to you. And I looked at it and I was like, this is very not safe for work. Like very, very not safe for work. Like sometimes it's like you're like, oh, there's like I don't know, they do it like you could say almost like tastefully not safe for work, but it's like no, it's just like everything hanging out, if you know what I mean, like right there, right in your face. So yeah, so they had some not safe for work art there, and it was very interesting to check out. I also walked into the Smut Hut and Oni-chan's Hentai Cave or something like that. I don't know. There are two people selling 18 plus uh, merchandise, and I won't go into too much detail, but it was just interesting to experience that. I just had to see what it was all about, so I went in. They've been there before, but I was like too scared to go in. This year, not too scared. Let's just go. So I went in, and I don't know, it was fine. Like I guess if you want to buy that kind of stuff, if you want to buy doujinshi comics, body pillows, lewd mouse pads.
Sean
Um,
went in for you, the fans.
I went in
He
for
did it
all
for
of
you.
you.
He did it
I
for
did
you.
it so you didn't have to. But yeah, it wasn't anything amazing. It was just like yep, this is 18 plus stuff, and then you walk out. So, but I got the experience of going into an 18 plus area at an anime convention. Did I buy anything else? A few art prints here and there. You get. Um, oh, my wife commissioned a piece for her. Sometimes if you go up to an artist, even if they don't have a sign for it, if you catch them early enough at the weekend, like on Friday, the first day, and you ask them, they might do a commission for you and have it done by Sunday.
Oh.
So I, if you do that, it's really fun. Like she got one of her. She's doing an online RP game centered around superheroes, using the what system are they using? I don't remember, but either way, uh, so she got a commission of her superhero party. Very safe for work, of course. But an artist quarter, five like 3/4 body, shaded, for $80. And some people might say $80 for it, that's a lot. But I'm like, a custom piece with 5 characters on it for $80. It's a pretty dang good deal,
Yeah, that feels like a
especially
really
she.
good deal.
Yeah.
And to have it done in like within 4 days. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for that turnaround time, unbelievable. Like I couldn't believe, it's we've had pieces done for D&D parties and stuff before. So it's something that's really fun to get done. The artists are amazing. I say, like, I
Yeah.
love the dealers. I love all the merch they have. I always buy stuff, but you got to give it to the artists. They pour their life, they pour their like, the blood, sweat, and tears into that work, and every sale you give them, it really goes a long way. They really appreciate it.
Yeah, mad props to the artists out there. You know, whether you were at Tekko or not, it's just something I can't do, and I do really appreciate. So that's why every time I go to Tekko, I always try to get prints and stuff from the artists directly, and help support them because that's a lot of times like this that's their livelihood. Sometimes they do it like as a side thing, but some artists like that's their livelihood is their artwork. So I want to support that as much as I can.
And some of them, unfortunately, a lot of them are starting to get worried about AI art. Like you could become an artist at Artist Alley and just download a bunch of AI art and sell prints of it and get away with it. So they really have to work hard to try and vet, con staff who run the Artist Alley have to do a really good job properly vetting their artists and trying to see, like, could this be AI art?
I hate that that's a thing. I'm very anti AI. Anything. I don't like it.
They're talking about this stuff. How we're gonna have new Beatles songs, so because you have AI write it, and then the way like Disney used like Luke Skywalker's voice and Grand Moff Tarkin, right? They they
And
they
Princess
use their
Leia.
voices through, yeah, and Princess Leia. They use their voices through AI in these movies, and they don't sound great yet, but it's getting better and better as time goes on. And soon, like I said, you'll get a new Queen song with Freddie Mercury. You'll get a new Beatles song with John Lennon and George Harrison. Like people who are dead and long gone, you'll be able to get new art from them. And not that this is the AI podcast, the Tega podcast, but it's bringing it up. It's a legit worry for people in any industry of art, whether it be music or drawing, because soon everyone will just go for the nostalgia beat, and we're just gonna have 80s. We're gonna have AI images of 80s actors on the screen, and we won't ever have to have new actors enter the scene. We could just superimpose someone else's face and voice into a movie and just have body actors.
I,
Not to
I
be
hate.
depressing.
I was gonna say I hate that that's even a possibility. That sounds terrible to me.
Oh, we can lighten the mood. I went and grabbed a lemon mochi, so if we want, we could do a live tasting.
Live tasting ASMR.
Eat that thing.
All right,
Eat it,
hit it,
brother.
Mike.
All right, so I got the lemon mochi here. So I think this is actually the first mochi I've ever had that wasn't in like the ice cream form.
Ah,
It's
Oh,
it's much chewier than I thought it would be.
yeah. It's a little gummy.
I like it though. Some people like the ice cream stuff better. I actually like the not ice cream stuff. I actually like the non ice cream mochi better.
I've actually not had the ice cream mochi, so I have to
Oh,
give that a shot sometime.
Cool. They
I
actually
really like.
sell like Whole Foods. I think has like
I
ice
believe
cream.
Odie has them too.
Oh,
Yeah, so they're
All
starting
right,
to hit
so
mainstream.
finished. Once you get past the gummy flavor or the gumminess of it, really good. I thought it would be. I wish it had a little bit more lemon flavor to it. Like I like my lemon shit to be like in your face lemon.
yeah.
Um, so the lemon flavoring was a little muted compared to what I like, but overall, I still really enjoyed it.
I find
Would
it refreshing.
Yeah, I would definitely grab another one. Part of me almost wants to throw one in the refrigerator just to see if it would be any different, a little
No,
chilled.
no joke. I keep mine in the refrigerator. I really like
Okay.
them. I like them cold.
Okay. Yeah. Mine are room temperature right now. So I think I'm going to throw a couple in the fridge and just see how they compare. Sean, before we keep moving on, we heard about your attendee side and vendor side, but we didn't really hear from you about the volunteer side of things.
Yeah, let me give everyone here who's let me give you the quick rundown. So Tekko is a 501c3 educational nonprofit. Um, one person makes a salary. It's on the tax form. So if people are, worried about where their money's going, you can just view the tax form and see the salary of the one person who gets paid. And if the one person didn't get paid, I can assure you we probably wouldn't have a Techo today, because it's really just too much work for a person to do, and have it still be a volunteer position. So on that
How,
note,
how many
uh,
volunteers would you say there are each year?
Well, I was gonna say that's a really good question. We have a Tekko staff Discord, and there are over 300 people in it. And I don't think that necessarily that many people volunteered this year. I think some people stay in the staff Discord despite not being staff because they like to see like what's going on in the organization. Nothing in the staff Discord is like it's just boring mostly. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to get any dirt on the con. It's just like people just talk about like, hey, does anyone have any spare staff? I need help breaking down the escape room. Like that's the kind of stuff that goes on there. Uh, so I, but it is cool. We do a lot of communication through Discord and email. So if you don't have Discord, you still get emails about that. We probably had over 300 volunteers, and when you volunteer, you get a comp badge. So not only do you get to get into the con for free, you have to work a minimum of somewhere between 10 and 12 hours, I think, to justify your free badge. If you want to go to the staff dinner at the end, which I'll get into in a little bit, you have to have a minimum of 18 hours over the course of the weekend, or some hours before the show and some hours during, if you have the kind of job that warrants that. Um, every attendee, not only, like I said, not only do they get into the con for free, they get to bring one person with them, a comp badge or compensation badge, I guess. Where essentially, like if you have I don't know, yeah, you have a guy who is volunteering for the convention, but he wants his girlfriend to get in, right? Or like it's you and your friend want to come in from out of town, and you're like, well, how about I volunteer, and then you'll also get in free, right? Uh, save us some money on the journey. Also, we get high school kids who need volunteer hours. So could you imagine like your high school kid who need volunteer hours to do a senior project and graduate? You're like, hey, want to like come get a free badge to an anime convention and also get your volunteer hours? Like, who wouldn't take that, right?
Oh yeah, that's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what do I have to do? It's like move items between tote boxes, or someone comes up and says, "Hi, pre-registered my badge," and then you hand them their badge. Like, it's a lot of the work is actually really simple. It's just that we need dedicated people who will show up on time. So if you want to join staff, reach out to us. I'll tell you how you can sign up because we're always looking for more people to volunteer. Like I said, only one person on the whole staff gets paid though, so you won't be making any money off of it. From the volunteer side, what happens is you go and check in. My day usually starts on Thursday. Cash boxes need to be prepared before the con even opens. I work in the finance department, so I do have some amount of say there. We also look at some of the contracts and pay out some of the guests their money that they're owed. They get what we call like a per diem, where in their contract they're stated like they get something like, I don't know, say $50 a day as an example, and that'll help them pay for their food throughout the weekend. It's kind of what it's for, like food and drink for the weekend. Um, so yeah, I do a lot of the money stuff. We have shifts. For the finance department, we have to have someone on as soon as the con floor opens because, for example, registration can't open without a cash register, right? So, and at the same time, at the end of the night, the latest one, the latest register that's open is probably like bag check, where people can check their bags for a small fee, and so we need people on the floor on the con floor till after 1 a.m. So yeah, the earliest person needs to get there at 9, and the latest person stays till about 1. So my volunteer experience is a little different from some people's, but I used to do merchandise and vendors hall as a volunteer, and that was interesting because we had some really interesting years, like I said, goofy volunteer stories, right? We had one year where the vendor hall was in the same place as the gaming room, because it was just the con was going through growing pains, and we were expanding into the convention center, but we had to make the most of our space because one expo hall is extremely expensive to book. So yeah, dealers are like in the back of the gaming hall, and gaming hall is open till midnight. So we had to have our staff like sit around in the gaming hall and like make sure no one tried to cross the ropes to get over into the dealer's room. So we're essentially working security for the dealer's room. And people are like, well, that's the really dumb design. It's like, well, the Conjures didn't have the money to put it in a separate place. So yeah, we had the volunteers stick around till midnight. We had one year, and you know, uh, in the Wyndham Grand Hotel where we found out that the rooms to the dealer's room couldn't be locked for fire escape reasons. So in that case, we actually had people volunteer to stay all night in the vendors hall to make sure no one tried to sneak in.
Oh wow.
So you get these wacky volunteer like stories, and these are years ago. Like those are years ago. Things are honestly like way better now because the company well, I wouldn't say the company's in a better financial position, but we have the whole convention center to ourselves. Convention center is well run, and they give us keys to lock everything up at the right time, so you don't have people watching a room extremely late. We used to have policies in the dealer's room where you couldn't bring a bag of a certain size into the convention, and so we would turn people away, and then people start asking like, "Well, what if I just leave my bag right there unsupervised?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I guess." So we just had like a bag pile where people would like toss their bag completely unsupervised, and like anyone could pick up your bag if they wanted to. Like we're like, "Hey man, leave it at your own risk." And so people walk into the dealer's room, just like throw their bag to the side and walk around the dealer's room, then come back at the end, grab their bag, and go. And we couldn't stop them. The one year that started happening and they call us out for fire hazard, they're like, "Hey man, someone's gonna trip over these bags. There's gonna be an emergency. And it's gonna be bad." So I don't know. Eventually, we made the call. Part of the reason we did the bags, number one, shoplifting is a legitimate issue at cons sometimes, and part two to that is that a lot of times before we went back to the convention center, space was at a premium. You There was not a lot of room to move around. As my wife put it, she's like, "Have you ever been 5 foot tall? You have that one dude with that backpack that is like filled to the max. Like you're like, how does he even fit that much? I know they made backpacks that big, you know, and then they turn and then they whack you in the head. That's the kind of stuff that happened to my wife, and she said, "I'm always thankful that people with gigantic backpacks weren't allowed in." But now we have the space. We have adequate space. People aren't whacking each other with backpacks. You can actually move around freely now. So, uh, like I said, that's kind of some of the like weird war stories that I've had as a volunteer uh, at a convention. Some of the wackiness that goes on. Yeah, I mean, you have to realize that most of the con is run by volunteers. Some of them are business professionals, and some of them aren't. And that generally, I think Tekko is a very well run con. We had a fundraiser event uh, before last year's Tekko that it's kind of embarrassing because they kind of they ask attendees essentially for money to say like, hey, because of the way COVID went, we will not have an organization. Tekka will never run again if we don't raise this much money. And they were able to raise the money, and because the organization this year, I think we said, okay, if we reach at least 8,000 to 8,500 people, then we'll be able to run next year, no problem. And we blew past that. We ended up with almost 10,000 people. So the organization's financial situation is getting better, and it's being run well. And COVID killed a lot of companies. I know Pittsburgh lost I think it was called Replay FX. It was a gaming convention that they would, I don't know, they would have all these classic games and pinball machines and everything like that. Uh, and it just died during tech it died during COVID and just never came back. Luckily, we have like a Pittsburgh Gaming Expo now, run by someone who I've met before, and the Demon Files booth is going to be there, and I'm going to be there handing out Anime Banter cards as well. So if you are going to Pittsburgh Gaming Expo, I'll get the dates on that later as we get closer to the event.
I believe
But
it's like September. I thought it was the end of September.
It's probably the last weekend in September, I think. I think that's what it is. Yeah, swing by the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo because yeah, I'll be there.
September 30th and October 1st.
Nice. Okay, thank you. I will be there handing out business cards and for anime banter, I'll be wearing my T-shirt probably one of the days that the convention's going on, and I will be ready and willing to chat, selling at the Demon Files booth. So come by the Demon Files booth. We'll talk anime. We'll talk the paranormal, whatever you want to talk about. Uh, that's what's up next for me. Another one for me for the vendor side. And I'm not volunteering for that one, by the way. No way can I pull it off.
Yeah, you've done enough, and thank you for everything that you do, Sean, for the anime convention.
Yeah, I love anime. I want to stick around. Oh, and I will say, if you ask, I'm a 12-year volunteer with Tekko, and someone might ask, why do you still do it? Uh, I believe in the mission of Tekko. I have seen the convention bring people out of their homes who have agoraphobia. I've seen the convention. Uh, I have seen people due to that organization meet and get married. I have seen people through the organization meet and become lifelong friends. I I have met plenty of wonderful people through the organization who I really enjoy seeing year after year, and it's one of the things that keeps me coming back. Anime fans are fantastic. I and I think it's a really cool opportunity to get a lot of people who are introverts or have social anxiety, or at home they feel like they can't be themselves. When they go to the con, they feel like they can truly be themselves. Go to a convention and I, like be their true selves for a weekend. And I think it's really important for people's mental health to have something to look forward to. And that's why I believed in the fundraiser because I think Pittsburgh would be a worse city if we lost an event like this. So I really appreciate what an anime convention brings to the table for people who may have difficulties in social situations and maybe people who feel lonely, people who have anxiety. It's a really great place to go out, be yourself, and just have a good time for once. So I really believe in the mission of anime convention, pop culture conventions in general. I'm a big fan.
There's something to be said about convention friends. The people you see once a year at a con, and you see them, and it's like no time has passed at all.
Yeah, it's the only time I see one of my old Pitt Johnstown anime club buddies, the former president of the Pitt Johnstown Anime Club. I'm not friends with him on social media. I don't know his phone number, but almost every year I run into him at Tekko and we catch up.
Before we move on, one thing I meant to talk about during the attendee section, I saw a great cosplay, and it was the only cosplay I took a picture of while I was there on Saturday. There was a Bender Fett. Someone dressed up as Bender from Futurama and painted his armor to look like Boba Fett.
I completely forgot about that until just now. It was amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's talk. Let's take a minute. Let's do a waifu of the week segment. Okay. Cosplay waifu. Mike, you pick Bender Fett.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely Bender Fett. I wish I got the Bender Fett cosplayer's name to give them credit on the socials, but I'll definitely have to post a picture of Bender Fett to accompany or to go with on the socials so everyone can see it. And Bender Fett, if you see it, reach out to us so we can give you credit because your cosplay was amazing.
Absolutely.
Turtle. Do you have a cosplay waifu of the week? See one that caught your eye, or is it also Bender Fett?
Well, I mean, Bender Fett was amazing for sure. I really enjoyed that. But just to pick something different, there was a lot of good stuff. I think just being put on the spot, the one that's jumping to my mind was Katana Man. There was a really great Katana Man that walked by, and I was just like, that looks like it was straight out of the anime. It looked really good. So I'm gonna go with the person who was Katana Man.
That one was fantastic.
Very good. Yeah, for me, I saw a few good ones that I just want to give a shout out to. Number one, I saw at least 2, 3 Y'shtolas from Final Fantasy 14. In like the black dress with the white trim, fur trim. I thought that I think 2 Y'shtolas I saw during the weekend, perfect. I couldn't have done it any better. I saw really good Alir from Fire Emblem Engage. I thought that was really cool because it's kind of a newer game, so I didn't know if people were going to be able to get the cosplay together in time. But they definitely made it work, and the cosplay looked good. And let's see. Oh, I had another Wolfwood from Trigon Stampede. I saw Wolfwood with a big cross that they're carrying, like in the fabric, and they had a Vash plushie like tied to the front of it, and I thought that was absolutely hilarious. So, thank you to all the cosplayers, because you really help bring the con experience together. All right. So thank you all for joining us this week as we talked Tekko 2023. I hope to see you at Tekko 2024. Come to Pittsburgh, reach out to us. We can meet up. You know, we can chat anime. But looking forward, we have next week the Anime Banter podcast, episodes 5 and 6 of Vinland Saga. We're getting back to it. That's right. So please give us a 5-star review on all the platforms. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us that thumbs up, like and subscribe. Hit the bell. You know, all that good stuff all the YouTubers say. Let's see, Turtle, anything you want to plug?
Every week I plug my YouTube channel, RPG Treasure Trove. A friend and I sit down and play an RPG game, couch co-op style. We just have a great time. Feel free to check it out. And currently, as of this recording, I'm playing through Pokemon Y with my brother from Severe Streaming. And I also have a poll up, which you can vote for the next game that we play. So, check me out, RPG Treasure Trove. Log in, vote for the next game I play.
I voted. I know that. Mike, anything you want to plug?
Nope. No, this is the only content that I produce, so nothing else to plug on my side.
Yep, I'm going to plug the Demon Files, and I'm going to plug the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo. So please come on down to that, play some retro games, listen to some bands. You know, they have a ton of live music, a ton of vendors, retro games, modern games, indie games, board games, you know, anything you want, you know, related to gaming, they're going to have. So please come on down. The Anime Banter podcast can be found on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you everyone for joining, and we will talk to you next week.